Stop right there. The waitress's voice cut through the chatter of the elegant dining hall like a knife. All eyes turned toward the massive figure seated near the center of the restaurant. A man so large he made the chair beneath him look like a child's toy. It was none other than Big Shaq. Not the rapper character from a meme, but the actual towering, legendary athlete with a smile that could light up the room, if he wasn't currently being confronted by a visibly annoyed waitress. She stood with one hand on her hip, the other pointing directly at him. The room went silent. Guests stared, forks frozen in midair. No one could believe someone was actually scolding Big Shaq in public. What could he have possibly done? Earlier that evening, the restaurant had been buzzing with high-profile guests. It was the kind of place where every plate looked like art, and every fork had more shine than a diamond ring. The waitress, Amanda, prided herself on keeping the place classy. When Shaq walked in wearing a simple maroon t-shirt instead of the usual suit and tie attire, Amanda raised an eyebrow. In her mind, he didn't fit the look of their upscale establishment. At first, she thought he might be lost. Then she assumed he was here to meet someone who actually belonged there. But when he sat down at a table reserved for VIPs, Amanda's patience ran out. She thought he was a random walk-in taking a seat meant for someone important. Amanda decided she was going to handle the situation before the manager even noticed. Marching over, she leaned down and said in a voice just loud enough for nearby guests to hear, "Sir, this table is reserved. You'll need to move." Shaq looked up at her with his usual calm demeanor, his deep voice rumbling. "I think I'm fine right here." That only made Amanda more irritated. "Sir, I don't think you understand," she said firmly. "This restaurant has a dress code, and we decide who sits in the VIP area. Please don't make this awkward." By now, whispers were spreading like wildfire. People started recognizing him. "Wait, isn't that Shaquille O'Neal?" someone whispered at a nearby table. A few guests began pulling out their phones. Shaq didn't get angry. He didn't raise his voice. He simply said, "Amanda, do you know who I am?" That question lit a spark of annoyance in her. "No, and it doesn't matter," she snapped. "Rules are rules." It was then that the restaurant's manager, a sharply dressed man in a black suit, came rushing over. He looked pale, like he'd just seen a ghost. "Amanda," he said sharply, "step aside. Right now." Confused, Amanda stepped back. The manager turned to Shaq with a nervous smile. "Mr. O'Neal, I'm so sorry about this." Amanda froze. "Mr. O'Neal? As in Shaquille O'Neal, the NBA legend? The man whose face she'd seen on billboards, commercials, and cereal boxes?" Shaq smiled politely at the manager. "It's all right. She was just doing her job, kinda." The manager gulped and said the word Amanda never expected. "Sir, your table is ready. Or rather, your restaurant is ready. We just had the chef send out your favorites." Amanda's jaw dropped. "Your restaurant?" she stammered. Shaq nodded. "Yeah, I own this place. Been doing a little surprise visit to see how things run." The color drained from Amanda's face. Not only had she just told one of the most famous athletes in the world to leave, she'd told the owner of the restaurant to leave. Instead of firing her on the spot, Shaq laughed. "You know what, Amanda? I respect that you care about keeping standards high. But maybe next time, take a second to know who you're talking to." Amanda apologized profusely, saying she never meant to offend him. Shaq waved it off, insisting it was no big deal. "Everyone makes mistakes," he said with a grin. "Now how about you help me serve some food? Let's surprise the customers." And that's exactly what happened. For the next hour, Shaq put on an apron and started delivering plates to tables, cracking jokes with guests, and even taking selfies with surprise diners. The customers loved it. People were laughing, clapping, and sharing videos online within minutes. The story went viral, and Amanda found herself becoming a bit of a local celebrity, the waitress who accidentally scolded her billionaire boss. By the end of the night, Shaq left her with a smile, a handshake, and a tip so generous it could pay her rent for months. And Amanda? She learned two important lessons. Never judge someone by their clothes. Always know the full story before you point your finger, especially if that finger is aimed at someone who could probably buy the whole building you're standing in. The dining room returned to its normal elegance, but no one there would forget the night the waiter who insulted Big Shaq didn't know he owned the restaurant. By the next morning, videos of the incident had taken over TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Clips of Amanda pointing her finger at Shaq were being replayed with captions like, "When you tell the boss to leave his own restaurant," and "dress code versus net worth." Some people laughed, others defended her for just doing her job, and some joked that she was the only person brave enough to stand up to Shaquille O'Neal. Amanda's phone was buzzing nonstop, friends, family, and even strangers messaging her with, "Girl, you're everywhere right now." Just when Amanda thought the excitement was dying down, she got a call from the restaurant's corporate office. Her heart sank. Was this it? Was she about to be fired for embarrassing the brand? To her surprise, the voice on the other end said, "Amanda, Mr. O'Neal spoke very highly of you. He thinks you've got potential." Instead of firing her, they offered her a promotion to assistant floor manager. Amanda was stunned. "But why?" she asked. "Because the voice said, Shaq believes in people who show backbone. And you've got plenty." What Amanda didn't know was that Shaq had been planning a series of mystery visits to his own restaurants. He wanted to see how staff treated guests when they thought no one important was watching. Her strict enforcement of the rules had actually impressed him, even though her approach needed, let's say, a little polishing. Shaq later admitted in an interview, "I wasn't looking for perfect. I was looking for people who care about the business." And Amanda cared. A week later, Shaq invited Amanda to join him at a special charity dinner, hosted in the same restaurant where the incident happened. This time, Amanda wasn't in uniform. She wore a beautiful dress Shaq had gifted her as a thank you. During the event, Shaq told the whole story to the guests, making sure Amanda got her moment of applause. Then came the real surprise. Shaq announced he was donating part of the night's proceeds to a local food bank, and he wanted Amanda to present the check with him on stage. The crowd cheered, and Amanda realized this strange, embarrassing moment had turned into the biggest opportunity of her life. Months later, Amanda was still recognized by customers. Some would walk in and jokingly say, "Hey, you're the one who told Shaq to leave, right?" She'd laugh and nod, the story now a fun icebreaker instead of a nightmare. Shaq continued to drop by unannounced, but now Amanda greeted him with a big smile and a VIP table ready. The night she confronted the giant wasn't just a funny viral clip. It became a lesson in humility, perseverance, and the strange ways life can flip in your favor when you least expect it. And, as Amanda often told her new staff, treat everyone with respect because you never know whose restaurant you might be standing in.